Welcome to Voice of the Nation. Consumers and industries alike are concerned about rising energy expenses. According to some critics, it seems impossible to subsidize and take control of the prices, but let them reflect through expenses. Dr. Sompop Patana Ariyangkul, spokesman of the Ministry of Energy, has an explanation with us.
สวัสดีครับ
Swadika, welcome to Voice of the Nation. Could you give us some background on the price situation now?
So before we are going to the current situation, I would like to give you some background of the situation that we have faced maybe more than half a year. So since October last year, oil price started to increase gradually in September, and in October we need to put some measure to subsidize diesel price in order to have the diesel price below some 30 baht per liter. So since then we have used the oil fund to subsidize diesel, and also before that we used the oil fund to subsidize LPG for many years. So since last October, we use some liquidity in the oil fund, and now we have some negative liquidity, negative balance. So I would like to point out that last year mostly it was the fundamental issue of demand supply. So after the COVID pandemic start to fade out, I mean people took more vaccine in many countries, oil demands started to rise, while the supply from few years ago, the producer stopped, delay investment, and then they are not willing to produce more in order to take control of the oil price. So last year we have the situation that we have tight demand and supply. So oil price start to increase from September to earlier this year. But then we have another situation, which was the situation between Ukraine and Russia. And Russia is one of the major oil producer and gas producer in the world. So we have the both situation. First, fundamental situation of demand supply balance, and then we have like the political conflict, which involve the major oil producer. That's why we have seen like the highest oil price in 14 or 15 years in early March. That oil price jumped to 130, 140 something. And then this is a situation that with the diesel price that we subsidized since last year, when oil price increased, we need to put more and more money in order to subsidize diesel. That's why early this month, start from the 1st of the May, we gradually reduce the subsidize on diesel, and with the target to subsidize only the half of the excess from 30 baht. For example, if current subsidy is about 10 baht per liter, the oil fund will trying to phase out the subsidy in order to subsidize only 50% of 10 baht, which is around 5 baht. So like theoretically, the ceiling is about 30 baht per liter. But the ceiling can change when the oil price change, and then the amount of subsidy change, the ceiling change. But if oil price starting to decline, and then we need to subsidize less than overall subsidize to have 30 baht per liter, less than 10 baht, the ceiling could reduce to some number. But then if oil price start to increase a lot, then we get back to the oil fund committee to analyze the situation and decide whether to what to do next. But we have increased around 2 baht per liter since the 1st of May. And then next week, the oil fund will convene and make decision how much going to increase in order to have like the step-by-step increase to the ceiling. This is a situation right now that I would like to point out that the world oil market since last year start to be tightened. And then with political conflict, it escalates the situation in the world oil market, and then we see that oil price has been really fluctuate, but at the very high level. So we need to put some money to subsidize diesel since then and start accumulating, and also LPG as well. If you see the balance of the oil fund right now is around minus 60 billion baht.
I see. So far, the government has applied some measures to take control through the oil fund. But now, because the situation is changing and we don't see positive signs at all, so it means that we're gonna bear higher costs from this month, right?
Yes, start from this month, from the 1st of May, that the diesel price was increased by about 2 baht per liter.
And the step-by-step measure that the government provided, do you think that we still use that for the next 3 months, or in the end it's not going to be like step-by-step anymore, or we have to take a look at what is going on in the price market, in the global market?
Yeah, the framework that the oil fund adopt right now is to have like the 50% subsidy. So we could use that for a while until they convene and okay, we need to adjust the situation because the situation has changed. So but right now we still adopt that framework that from the target to increase until the ceiling, that we're going to have like a week by week analysis how much to increase in each week.
Okay, what kind of feedback now that the ministry getting from the businesses and consumers?
So we understand the consumer that going to like they would concern about like the increased cost in the cost of living and business, concern about cost of transportation or something like that. But as I want to point out that the government has done a lot in trying to control the cost of diesel since last year that I mentioned, but we see that the situation is taking longer, and we still cannot see it like how the world oil market is going to be back to the normal situation. So in order to manage the liquidity in the oil fund, we need to start to reduce some subsidy. But I would like to point out that when we look at our neighboring, we see that in our neighboring country in ASEAN, I think right now, Thailand is the third from below that in terms of the diesel price. We see in some countries 37, 43, 44, 47 baht per liter in comparison. So the government had tried best to use some effort and resource in order to control the cost. But right now we all know that the situation that we have today, we can call that the energy crisis. that we happen that we see it happen in many countries, but impact is up to how much reliance we are on the imported energy. For crude oil, I think Thailand import around 90% of crude oil from abroad. So is this avoidable that we can shield ourselves from the increased cost? But so far the government has shielded some the impact, but right now since the impact is longer, higher, so there's some impact that pass through to the consumer. But in overall economic measure, the government and or other ministry or agency try their best to stabilize and at least to and also to protect the vulnerable group from the increasing cost of energy and also cost of other commodity as well.
Right. Some people still have some doubts about the price indicator that we have to base on Singapore. Can you help explain about this?
So as I mentioned before, that Thailand import
Imported crude
around
oil.
90% of crude oil from abroad, and we all know that crude oil is the commodity that everyone can trade in the market. So the term Singapore price is not the price that the Singapore government determine, but is the price in the market, Asian market, Asian oil market that located in Singapore, not the price that Singapore government determine or in the Singapore domestic market. Is the international market, regional market that we refer the price to, because oil is commodity. So if we set price different from the market, you can see the unbalancing. Yeah. So that's why we need to refer price to regional market in Singapore. But I would like to emphasize that the oil market or oil business in Thailand is free market, competitive market. The Singapore price is a reference, but they have to compete with each other as well. So that's why this is the reason that Asian oil market located in Singapore is the closest market that we have. So that's why we use that as the reference, but also underline that in oil business in Thailand is competitive business.
Right. Is there on the average price in ASEAN, the graphic that we are seeing now, Thailand is quite in the lower ranking, like 39.65, and you think we can maintain this situation for like the next quarter, or you think that is impossible to tell?
So the price 39 is the gasoline.
Right.
The diesel is around 32.
31, 32.
32. So I would like to mention that the oil fund committee actually they convene in every working day, almost every working day, because they have to adjust the subsidized rate to diesel, and also they monitor the situation. If the situation have changed a lot from we have seen today, they could talk and maybe they could maybe put additional measure or something like that. But right now, since oil market is very difficult to predict or forecast, so we are still stick with the existing framework, and then if the situation change a lot, we get back and review or analyze the situation, and then we may get back with some additional measure or adjustment. Yeah,
I see. I see.
yeah.
So, talking about the liquidity of the oil fund, is it possible that the government will seek loans or borrowings to support the oil fund soon? It seems quite difficult for now, the situation.
Yeah, the loan is already set. I mean, in terms of the
Mm,
approval.
mhm,
Now the oil fund office is seeking loan from the bank, and this is
mm,
the process that they are doing right now. Yeah, they are seeking loan to inject some liquidity to the oil fund. Yeah, this is the
mhm.
plan.
It's in the plan, and but we haven't signed up. It's just already going on in the plan.
There is the ongoing process.
Mm. Okay, so
They are yeah,
we can
they are
use
in
this
process.
loan for the next 3 months or 6 months.
I think that this is like the initial measure that have
Mm,
been approved for a while. So in order to inject some loan, and then they will analyze the situation in the oil market, uh, how much is we are going to use, or what will be the measure that we're going to do for another month, and then they
mm,
can get back with some measure on liquidity management. Yeah, but
mm,
right now the loan, uh, 20 plus 10 billion baht is
mhm,
at the 20 billion baht loan is in the process.
mm,
It's on process. Yeah.
I see. So, any other thing that your organization like to tell the public about the situation, and any some misunderstandings still going on?
So, like I said, the oil fund uh, is trying to manage the liquidity.
Mm-hmm,
So, for example, we have like the premium diesel
mm-hmm,
that in the normal situation is could be like the 3, 4, 5 baht more expensive than the normal diesel. And then before that, the the premium diesel get the subsidy as well.
mm-hmm,
So from the 1st of May, uh, the subsidies on the premium diesel uh, is going to be reduced week by week by 2 bahts. And then in the end, the oil fund will collect about 1 baht per liter from the premium diesel,
mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm,
also from the E85. Uh, the oil fund is going to reduce the subsidy
mm-hmm,
uh, 1 baht per week
mm-hmm,
until the subsidy is about uh, 50 satang per liter.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Yeah, this is the thing that the oil fund is trying to manage some liquidity from some oil type that we think that they can reduce the
mm-hmm,
subsidy in order to manage liquidity of the fund.
mm-hmm. In this situation, the collection still going on, even though we can seek the loan, right? Because it's a natural way to manage the oil fund.
We have some collection, some in the gasoline group.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah, this is some of the money that the oil fund still collect.
mm-hmm. It for compared to with the past, the collection is now quite in the lowest point.
I think for like the normal gasohol,
Mm-hmm,
95 is around 1 baht per liter.
mm-hmm,
Not that much.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I see. And with this kind of situation, and you said you mentioned that the meeting is like very intense and every day. You do you have any other measures, like the ministry talk to the industries and business operators to try to help control the price because some consumer price already up? And do you think that is not the time now to ask them to prolong or delay the price increase?
I think that the Ministry of Commerce uh, is trying their best to control or manage the price, but I think that they have talked to a lot of manufacturer in order to control the price. I think every agency, every ministry in the country are doing their best to manage and try to reduce the impact from the global crisis to Thai citizen as a whole. Yeah.
Can you tell us because now the government is open for tourists to come in and the businesses that been closed down or being slow will be more active. That will increase the demand for the energy as well.
Yeah, we see the sign of increased demand since last year. I think that I can say that increase and like the recovery in
Recovering.
demand. Yeah.
Hmm.
So when the like the lockdown measure has been lift off, so we see a lot of activity, traveling activity and tourism activity increase. So it's reflect in oil demand and also in electricity demand as well.
Any suggestion or recommendation for the ministry for the business operators from now, not in addition to taking a close watch on the price up, and do you have any other advice?
I think for our business, I think they're already doing their best to try to manage the situation. I mean, to control the cost, to manage the process, to increase efficiency. But I just want to mention that I think that the government is trying to do their best. Talking about Ministry of Energy, we are trying to do all the measure that we have with the resource that we have in order to manage the situation, which I call the crisis. That in the crisis that is unavoidable. That we can take out all the impact. So and also we are trying to put some extra measure on the vulnerable group. For example, like the motorcycle taxi that they will get later in this month. They will get like the discount from from purchasing like the gasoline or benzene in order to manage their costs, and then they would not pass through the cost to the passenger, something like that, or the LPG that we gradually increase price since April. We also put more money. The Ministry of Finance put more money on the state welfare card in order to have the more discount on LPG purchase. I think this is the thing that the government trying to do with the resource that we have, and also focusing on the fragile group in the society that in order to all together we get past through the crisis that I think everyone in the world also have the same crisis.
Right, and this is unfortunately that we have too many factors instead of
Yeah.
only the inflation that we can tell from the past 2 years, inflation going up, but with the situation in Russia and Ukraine as well. So thanks very much for joining us today ครับดร.สมภพครับขอบคุณมากครับ
With pleasure. Thank you. ขอบคุณครับ สวัสดีครับ
And that's Dr. Sompop Patana Ariyangun, spokesman of the Ministry of Energy. And we're gonna have more updates and also information, and we gotta keep close watch on the energy prices. for the consumers and the business as well. Please follow us on the web page and the website of the nationthailand.com. And I'm Vithya Sang Arun. This is Voice of the Nation. สวัสดีครับ